Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Read and Write with Natasha. Today's guest is author Richie Billing. He is a fantasy author, editor, podcast host, and creative writing teacher based in Liverpool. After leaving his career in law to pursue storytelling full time, Richie carved out a unique path in fantasy fiction, using his work to explore real world issues through compelling characters. He is the author of Pariah's Lament and The Craft Guide, a fantasy writer's handbook, which has helped emerging writers land book deals. All right, Richie, I am so glad to have you here today as a guest on my podcast. And actually, this is the first time we do this live, so I'm really excited. And thank you for being a good sport and for agreeing to experiment with me and try it live. So let's see. I'm not sure how this works, but we'll take it from here.
Uh,
Anyways, Richie, I think my first question is you were a lawyer, which is a big deal, and then you left it to become an author. What were you thinking? If you
ah,
can let me know what made you make this kind of courageous and bold move.
you probably say what was the thing of being a lawyer in the first place?
I mean, it's more money, it's more prestige, I guess. So, what made you decide to quit being a lawyer to become a full time author?
Well, I just stopped enjoying it. And
Okay,
at the time, I think I was about 23, 24,
okay,
and you're sort of faced with the prospect of having to do something for the rest of your life that you just hate.
yeah,
And I was just really into reading books at the time. I had never had any ideations of being a writer, but I remember reading it's one of the Game of Thrones books. Is the book with the red wedding anyway, and
mm.
I couldn't sleep one night, and I started
Oh,
reading this book at 1 a.m. And the next time I checked the time, it was 7 a.m. And I couldn't believe that was like a spell, and the writing was magical. And it's sort of that moment in time, I was at a crossroads, and this gave me direction. I was like, why don't I want to be able to create this magic as well. And that's what sort of set me on a path of writing. Once I started trying to write my own stories, it was like I fell in love, and I've never looked back since.
And do you think it is possible and sustainable to be a full time author? And during these times where people struggle and there's like, the economy is not in the greatest shape. And I am doing it, but I supplemented with other
Yeah,
client work. How possible it is to live as a full time author, raise a family and have a sustainable income.
I think unless you're sort of on high street bookshelves and you're selling good few thousand copies of books a year, it's pretty impossible. Like I've been writing for 10 years. I have to work full time. I do writing part time. Invest quite a lot of time in it. I'm like yourself. A lot of the money that I bring in to supplement my income comes from freelance work.
Mm,
So it's tough. Like the actual money from sales is limited
hmm.
unless you're selling volume. You're making like
Yeah,
£2 or £3, if that, per
yeah,
book,
yeah,
and you're competing in a market where everyone's either giving the book away for free or selling it for 99 cents.
yeah.
And it's really difficult for writers to find the niche, break through. But once you do break through, once you find your audience and you cultivate your audience, then there's nothing to stop you. And I think that's the main thing. I was interviewing a best-selling author now. Actually, she started off self-publishing. She's called Kelcade, and she just found her audience, and she got snapped up by Tor Publishing then, and got commissioned to write a series of novels for them. So it just goes to show, like, you've just got to find your people. And if you can do that, then it's easier than just thinking, oh, I need to sort of create a book that's going to have mass market appeal. And
Hmm.
then you're up against everybody.
A- And how do you find your people?
That's hard. Yeah, that's quite tricky. But
I mean,
you've got to sort of define, based on the kind of writer you are, the kind of stories you like to tell. People compare you to certain things. Like I've just brought out a book called Together We Rise, and people have compared me to like Michael R. Fletcher and like the book to Four of Crows and stuff like that. And that's really
Oh yeah.
helpful for me because I can then narrow it down to say, oh, well, people who like that kind of stuff will also like this.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you have your podcast, you teach, you appear on podcasts. In terms of marketing your work, what do you think, what are you doing the most and what do you think has the highest ROI that worked for you?
So a lot of when it comes to writing, I do a lot of email marketing.
Ah, okay.
I invest a lot of time and effort into just growing and cultivating an engaged audience.
Interesting.
I've recently
Okay.
launched Patreon because I wanted to create something more sustainable, a more sustainable platform than having to write books all the time, which take months and months, sometimes years, and then hoping that that book makes you a few thousand or whatever, or a few hundred if you're lucky,
Yeah.
and then having to do another one, and then rather than just getting these little lumps of money, it's not sustainable. It's not a model that you can live on. So that's why I think subscription is better. And if you can develop an audience like through your mailing list, like people, it's just the same as people monetizing the Substack
Yeah.
newsletter, but I'm doing it on Patreon and I've linked it with my website. So I deliver the content in better ways so people can get ebooks, free ebooks down, like sent to the e-reader. They can read online using an immersive e-reader and they get like bonus content, like audiobook versions and stuff like that. And I think it's better for the reader personally. It's
Mm.
just trying to get them or align it with the way they like to consume books.
So you offer people who subscribe, you offer them free ebook versions of your book?
Yeah, so I have like two tiers, keep it quite simple. So I have a short fiction tier and a long fiction tier. The long fiction I'm not going to put on Patreon. It's just too much faffing getting individual chapters on there. So you just literally get to download the ebook. And then short stories are put on Patreon. And then for each short story version, each short story they has is an ebook version. And there's also a version you can read online in an immersive e-reader, which is pretty cool. I've got that for free as well on my website, and
Mm.
you can just read it on Patreon too. It took a lot of time and effort, and I had to do a survey to find out how to get Patreon to work. And I do feel like it's what I've created now is better, but it's still tough getting people to subscribe.
Do you have any subscribers?
Yeah, I've probably been doing it for just about 4 or 5 months, and I've just hit over like 100, so I'm like 106.
Oh, wow. Good for you.
Yeah, it's
I
slow going. It's gonna
yeah.
take time, but as a long-term investment, I think
Oh,
it's the only way really that I could ever go full time.
how do you convince them? Because I launched it. Maybe I did not do a good job promoting it, and I launched it and I sent it to my email audience, and no one
Mhm.
subscribed. I was like,
Yeah.
okay. I was like,
Well,
okay.
a lot of people think that Patreon's more expensive, and they don't look at it because they think that. And when I first launched it, it was working out like you're paying $36 a year.
Okay.
So I mean, for some people that's fine, but a lot of people said they didn't have money, and I don't want to exclude people. Like the last thing I want to do with my writing is like cut people off from enjoying it. So what I've done it with the pricing is like with the short fiction, it's $1 a month, so it works out the same price as paying for a paperback,
Okay.
but you spread the cost over a year. But you also get about $40 worth of ebooks plus
Okay.
ongoing content and bonus content as well. So
Hmm.
you just make it a really good deal. It's like, well, why would you even buy that ebook when you can sign up for this and get all of this instead?
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
like, yeah. So it's hard because people are used to buying books, but if you can show them a better option and like one of the biggest challenges is marketing that in a better way,
Oh my
then
God. Yeah. Yeah.
um then yeah, that's all you can do. Just try it and hope.
Yeah, I'll check out your Patreon and see what's your secret because 100 paid subscribers, it's a big deal. All right, so you mentioned that you do freelancing on the side. What kind of freelancing you do to supplement your income as an author?
So in my day job, I am an SEO specialist. So
Mm,
if anyone doesn't know what that is, that's search engines, and I use that a lot. Is to get visitors to my own sort of writing website. So
yeah.
that's a really good way to get people like to look at your books and to join your mailing list and stuff. So SEO is really good, and that's one of the main things to do, to be honest.
I'm actually curious about your mailing list. So you said that you spend a lot of time on email marketing, and some authors do that, but I don't think it's like I think you're one of the first people who told me that you spend a lot of time on email marketing.
Mm.
So I'm curious, what platform do you use and how many subscribers do you have if you can share this information?
Yeah, of course. So I started using MailChimp,
Okay.
and it's okay, MailChimp. I'll say that. I've not used anything else, so there could be worse ones. So at the
Okay.
moment, my relationship with MailChimp is better the devil you know.
Okay.
It's good because you can create your automations. So this is what I struggled for ages with email marketing because there's a lot of psychology that goes into it, and I wasn't really thinking about that side.
Yeah.
It was actually the way I sort of cracked the code was by analyzing what I was doing in my sort of few years. I was running an Irish pub. So I
Mm.
was manager of this Irish pub, and it was in a pretty rubbish part of Liverpool, so not many people would come in. So I would spend a lot of time and effort on cultivating relationships with people who did come in. So making them feel very welcome, maybe giving them a free drink, talking to them, asking them about the day, going a step further than basically customer and bartender or whatever. And then people would more and more people came in, came back, word spread, place kind of turned around, and it worked really well for the pub. So I was like, how could I get that to work? The same
Hmm.
principles for a mailing list. So the way to think about it is someone has voluntarily given a bit of their personal information. So it's sharing, like you say, a phone number is probably a step beyond the email. Like you can hide behind an email. A phone number is a little bit harder to hide behind, for example. So it's quite a personal thing to share. So it means they want to hear from you and they want to connect with you. And you've got to think about, all right, how can I do that via an email? So being honest is really good because honesty makes you likable to other people. It makes you, obviously, you open yourself up, you're a bit vulnerable, and people can relate more to that. So writing emails about like, this is one of my biggest struggles with writing. This is the hardest thing I've had to overcome in my life. This is the lowest point in my writing career. People really respond to that. I was getting like email open rates of like 60%. And
Wow.
then what you do is you sort of tie that in with this was my lowest point, and this is the story that I wrote to help me get out of that, and then feed that into oh, you can read this on Patreon. And so doing things to cultivate a relationship, obviously asking them questions, prompting them to respond, having a community where people can go, like Discord. So Discord's a big thing for me. I've got like 600, 700 members in the Discord communities.
It's your community. It's your community.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh wow.
And it's brilliant because people can join, they can get help with beta reading, they can discuss ideas with people, they can just make friends. And it's worked out really well. People have been in like weekly critique groups that they've joined over a year ago through that Discord community. And they're still going now, meeting every week. So you can do these things. You can be the facilitator, create these spaces for people to join. Like I don't really do much, but I create the space and make
Uh,
sure there's no crazy people in there. And that's all you need to do. You need to offer value, offer something that is going to like make a difference to people's lives, something that's going to people going to be interested in, intrigued, and find value in. And when you sort of tie this in with like a personal message, making people feel welcome, valued, respected, then you've got the psychology along with the content, and
hmm.
then you build an automation. It's all about automations with email marketing. So my automations last like 3 or 4 months when you join, and I'll send emails will be sent like every few days at the start, maybe quite regularly
Yeah.
to build that relationship. And then over time, it'll be maybe every 4, 5, 6, 7 days and just drip feed things.
Hmm. Wow. And is the community free? The
Yeah,
Discord or
it's all free.
it's free. So how many subscribers do you have on in your newsletter?
About 7,500 at the moment. And I'm just
Seven.
trying to,
Wow.
yeah, I'm just trying to grow as much as possible. But there's an expense that comes with it. That's
What's
the
that?
main thing. So
Ah,
the
yeah,
bigger
you
your
have to pay
mailing
for
list,
it. Yeah,
your
yeah,
mailing list,
that's
the more
true.
expensive it is.
Yeah, that's true. Oh wow. So when you published your book, how was your publishing journey? Did you self-publish or did you use a publisher?
So in the past, I've worked with publishers. For the most recent book that I've done, I chose to do that myself just because I had a lot of creative ideas for this one.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to explore that. So for this one, I actually integrated an original soundtrack that I've made. It's a novella. It's split into 8 parts with 8 characters. So each character has their own theme song, which mirrors their emotional journey as they go through that chapter. And their little part of the story contributes to the greater story. So interesting structure, which I don't think many publishers would have gone for, and also wanted to elevate the experience for readers by adding this layer of music,
Mm,
which has never been done before, I don't think. I think I might be the first author to ever do that
yeah.
because it's like integrated with QR codes. And if you
Oh, wow.
so at the start of each chapter, you can scan a QR code if you've got the paperback, or you can tap a button if you've got the ebook. And that's how it's
Oh,
sort of
that's fascinating. And
integrated.
how is it selling?
Well, it's hard to sell, obviously, breakthrough and things, but like I've sold a few copies, but I mean, it's only a novella, and for this one, it was more of a passion project.
Mm,
I'm just giving copies away, and just want to get the word out, and just having a lot of doing different marketing techniques, so like doing different like local marketing techniques, I call them.
yeah.
So doing local events, QR code stickers, making cool stickers, and then putting your QR code on them and sticking them up in places. I don't know. There's all different things you can do to mix up the marketing. It doesn't always have to be online. And I think people are obviously because there's more people online, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of things you can do in your local community, which will get you a lot of benefits and like as well as the online stuff too.
Yeah, fascinating. I also noticed that you have a podcast, right? And I want to talk a bit about having a podcast
Yeah.
because I have a podcast. And one of the things that like I keep thinking about, I mean, I love the podcast and I pay from my own pocket to run it, for all the tools and all of that. But the amount of like the conversations that I have with people like yourself, it's like investing in a master class, in writing and publishing because of the conversation. And I wanted to hear a bit about your experience with podcasting, how often you publish it, why actually do you have a podcast?
Yeah, so I started the podcast called the Fantasy Writers Tool Sheds, and I started it with a friend probably about 4 years ago,
Oh,
maybe
wow.
longer. I can't remember, but he had to take a step away. So the two of us, we just did it because we like writing, and we spoke about writing honestly and openly. And he stepped away, and I was like, oh, I don't think people are just going to want to listen to my Scouse accent. So I didn't know what to do. So I decided quite a few people listened to it. Yeah, quite a few thousand subscribers, and I was like, it seems a shame just to bin it. So I decided to get experts on any subject to do with writing. Obviously, as well as authors, we had a lot of best-selling authors, and getting their insights and experiences of the writing journey and working with agents and how to craft stories. That's been amazing. And the same reason you said, you get so much value out of that
Yeah.
speaking to these amazing authors and like hearing how they deal with imposter syndrome and stuff like that. It's amazing. And then speaking with just experts that you wouldn't really think you'd speak to in life. So I interviewed an expert in body language who
Mm.
was a former FBI special agent. So he'd interviewed like thousands and thousands of people over the years, and he was just a master at reading people. And
Huh.
having that sort of insight, it just empowers your writing then, because when it comes to writing about like a conversation where someone's a bit edgy, you can put in like the body language details, and it makes it more engaging for readers that way because they're not being told how a person's feeling. They have to work out
Yeah.
from the clues that you give them through that body language. So it's really good. And yeah, that's why I love it. I mean, I don't make any money from the podcast. It doesn't cost me anything, but time has become more and more precious to me over the last few years, and I've had to step to cut back on the podcast. I used to do 2 episodes a month every 2 weeks. And to be honest, if you're going to do a podcast and you really want to do it and you want to compete with people, you probably need to be doing like 2 a week. Like
Yeah.
that's what the best ones seem to do. There's just like 2 episodes a week, and I can't do that. It's just time. I work
Yeah.
time. I don't have the time or the energy to do it. So I just do one a month now, just to keep it going. And I just keep doing my own thing, keep speaking to really interesting people, best-selling writers. People still like it. People still listen. I mean, listenership has gone down. I imagine it's because I'm not publishing as much. Rhythms don't push you up. So, but it's still got like over 10,000 followers. So I still value that a lot, and a lot of people do listen to it. So that's why I keep doing it.
Hmm.
A lot of the stuff I do when it comes to writing is because I like helping people. I get a lot of satisfaction from that. So if I learn something new, I like to share it, and that's how it all began.
Hmm.
And I was sort of getting to have conversations with more knowledgeable people than me and share
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
insights for everyone else's benefit as well. Just probing their minds and getting information out.
Yeah.
It's really good and satisfying for me.
Do you think all authors should have a podcast as part of their like marketing strategy or like brand building?
Only if you're gonna really go for it. Like I said, 2 episodes a week. If you want to do it for money, I think you need to be getting over 5,000 downloads or listens
A month?
an episode.
An episode? Oh, wow.
It's crazy hard to monetize your podcast. You could do it like, I think Acast, for example, you could you'd pay like $20 a month, and then you might make like $10 a month back in ads. Like the ads revenue is really poor in podcasting. So if you're a writer, I would say focus on your writing.
Mm,
Don't get sucked
mm,
in by these things unless you have an idea to combine your writing with your podcast. So if you want to narrate some things and do like a fiction podcast, that's a really
mm.
cool idea. I would definitely do that. But when it comes, this is a trap that I fell into. Um, when I was developing my website and obviously the podcast, it's all about writing. Now, I love creating stuff for writers, but writers don't buy my fiction books generally.
Interesting.
I've kind of
Yeah.
taken my eye off the ball and focused on cultivating an audience of writers and not readers. So
Mm.
that's why I'm sort of shifting away now and focusing on the reader and not the writer. And if you produce content for writers, then you're going to get writers. So just be wary of how much you produce for writers, because they don't always buy your fiction books because they're writing their own stuff and they're not really that bothered.
Interesting.
So think about that. That's all I'll say.
That's a good point. But how can you like write stuff that is out of your niche? Because if you write about writing and the publishing industry and that's what you know, automatically you're gonna grab the writers.
Yeah, it's just writing, probably tailoring it more to people who like the kind of stories that you write.
Mm,
So that's why I
interesting.
focus on fantasy writing. If I create content about writing, I focus on fantasy elements. And at
Mm,
least then I'm narrowing the pool down.
yeah, yeah. What about YouTube?
I love YouTube. I'm just not very good at it.
Do
I
you
know I'd love to really get at it and do more videos, but again, it's time. I just don't have the time to learn how to make nice looking videos and
yeah,
really create a lot of good content. But I've
yeah,
always got the ideas there to make stuff. It's just time.
yeah,
If you've got the freedom, I think we said before, you said about earnings and stuff, like it's really tough for people at the moment. Like you said, like I'm from a working class background, and like it's insane. Like to think that like people are gonna have the energy and the motivation after working a 12-hour shift, or sometimes even doing two jobs, to then go and write a novel.
yeah,
So over time, because as this persists and get worse, then less people like from working class backgrounds are going to be able to publish anything.
yeah.
It's just going to completely dry up, and it's just going to be like really sort of like wishy-washy middle class stuff that no one can really relate to.
Hmm.
But it's just sort of feeds the sort of formulas and the models that these publishing companies love because they think sell books. It's quite sad. It's very sad at the moment. Not a lot we can do.
So what is your writing routine like? If you have a full-time job, when do you write and how many hours a day?
So generally, like if I'm working, I'll get a bit of time at lunchtime. I'll do some stuff then. But when I come home, I'll probably start work about 7, and I'll work till maybe sometimes as late as midnight. Just as as much as my sort of mental energy will allow, really. But if I had a
Hmm.
full day to myself, I write in sessions. So I'll do like a morning session for a few hours, have a break, afternoon session, evening session. So maybe I'd write for 12 hours, but over 4 sessions. You just got to find what works for you, haven't you? I mean, how do you like to work? You've probably found over the years that you're quite effective in certain ways.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, for me, it's just the morning, the early morning. And I do also like writing sprints with clients. So that's
Nice.
also I write with them, and that works well because and I need to market this. It's been busy with
That's a
other
really
stuff,
good
but
idea. Yeah.
yeah, it is a good idea actually. You're welcome to join. I can give you a
Oh, yeah.
complimentary one just to try it. It'll be fun. We can do it.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah. All right, this been great. And what does the future hold for you, Richie? What are you working on?
At the moment, I'm working on experimenting with form and structure and delivering stories in different ways. So I've because I've been so focused on Patreon, I'm now working on a sort of ongoing web novel. So releasing chapters every week and just seeing how
Mm,
that goes down because I've seen a lot of people find a lot of success with it on Patreon and online platforms. And I like the idea of it. It's like writing and editing a novel as you go and sharing at the same time. And then
yeah,
once it's finished, then you've got the novel already there to go. And so it seems like quite a nice, efficient way to do things. And
yeah,
then doing a lot of short stories as well because I do get a lot of satisfaction out of them. And it's great just for obviously building your confidence and building your portfolio and your resume as a writer.
mm,
Um, Keeps you sharp as well, and it's a lot easier to do these shorter, quicker projects than commit years to a novel.
yeah, yeah. That's true. Richie, this has been amazing, and thank you for being a good sport and entertaining me to go live. I'll have to go see how that worked out. And I wish you the best of luck. And how can people reach you if they want to read your novels or work with you on, certain projects?
Yeah, well, thank you very much for having me on. It was lovely chatting with you. Best place to go is richiebilling.com. Um, Patreon is just search for patreon.com/Richie Billing. And then if you just Google my name, because there's not many Richie Billings, you'll probably track me down quite easy. So yeah.
Good. This has been great. So thank you very much, Richie, and wish you the best.